Hello, everybody. It's Stephen and Walter here for another episode of So Chatty. It's like we haven't talked to you in a while because the last two So Chatties, one was an interview and one was when we went on the shop hop and all of that. And that was mostly video. But today we're back on our usual schedule. And so it's episode 118 and it's October the 13th. Oh, I just realized something.
It's Friday
the 13th. Oh, that may be why I just got a call for a consultation meeting on Monday about getting a colonoscopy. Oh, great. What a pain in the ass.
Well, they know you're full of...
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, it had to be said. Yeah, screw off. Anyway, so before we get into the main topic for today, let's take a look at what I've been working on. And the first thing is my Regal Trees quilt. Now, you've seen this on Idiot Quilter, but it is now completely quilted, bound, the whole bit done. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Somebody sitting next to me who will go nameless, Walter, he thinks my quilting is too dense.
Actually, it looks better on the smaller picture than it does on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
It looks better at a distance.
You know, if you can't say anything nice, F off. Really. I do tend to like denser quilting on a quilt because I figure I want to see it.
Because you're dense, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, there are some people who don't like denser quilting, like Walter, who's never quilted a quilt in his life.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah. I'm just an observation.
You know, actually, this was Lucy's suggestion.
Oh, okay.
Lucy puts it out and figures out.
It looks nice at the distance. I think it looks okay then.
Looks nice close up, too.
Well, I don't know. I think it looks too dense. But anyway, that's my opinion.
You're kind of dense. Anyways, now if you want a softer quilt, you know, if you want a quilt that you cuddle up with and everything, you know, it's so fluffy, then yes, you don't do as dense a quilting. But I don't care about that. I want to see the quilting. To me, a quilt is a work of art. If you want a blanket, go to Walmart and buy a blanket.
Okay, fine. To each his own.
Yeah, you know, I should be proud of the fact, though, that you were looking for mistakes, and there isn't any mistakes.
Actually, I didn't look for mistakes, but I looked for it before you quilted it, so I couldn't find it.
Oh, you're just so much fun. Not. Well, let's move on, shall we? Okay, and this is Table Runner that I finished for a friend. Who's having a birthday very soon, and so I did this in the hoop. However, this one was done a little different in the hoop because it wasn't a whole design. The only thing I had to work with was 1/4 of one of these squares. This is a Dresden plate, so just these 3 blades. And what I did was in the editing, I put them all together into this square. I added the centerpiece, and then I added the sashing ones to reflect that. And it took a while because each one of these blocks took over an hour to do. Actually, no, it wasn't over an hour. It was 201 minutes. That's over 3 hours to do one block. It actually took 3.5 because you have to figure in your thread changes and things like that. You have to do too. And then I had to sew it all together, add my borders, and then the backing and bind it. And I don't know. What are your comments about this one?
It looks nice.
Good. High praise. You don't think it's too dense?
No.
Very good. Yeah, right. Whatever. So, hope she likes it. If she doesn't, then I'll just tell her to. Never mind. And, okay, so everybody knows by now which quilt you picked from the 4S Club collaboration. That's with Stephanie Stitches, Shannon Way from Slay Arts, and Sean from The Guy Who Sews. We're doing this collaboration. We gave you 3 patterns each that we would do. Each one of us had 3 different patterns. You picked the one that each one of us would do. So we're doing 4 different patterns, but this is the one you picked for me. And I was really happy you picked this one for me. However, then when I got looking at the pattern, I discovered some little errors and things like that, which I'm going to talk about more extensively on Idiot Quilter probably next week. But anyways, I've got 4 of my kitties done out of 23 I have to make, and they take a little while to make. I mean, they're not difficult, but because I'm geometrically challenged, sometimes I have to do a little unseaming with these and whatnot. But it's going to be scrappy. The cats will all be, basically there'll be 2 cats in the same color through this, because I didn't have enough. I'm using a fat quarter bundle that I had laying around. I forget which this one is called, but
Is that color? Is that
it's not chroma.
not chroma?
No,
Okay.
it's another popular one. I can't remember right now what it was, but anyway, so yeah, that's an ongoing project, and I think that's all the projects I have now. What do you have to show, Walter?
Nothing.
Oh, but you have some fabric on order from
Yeah.
Spoonflower,
Yeah.
because he's making us this party we're going to. This birthday party is a 1960s theme, because the person's turning 60. And so you're supposed to sort of dress in 60s like clothing. So Walter's going to make it. He ordered what? You ordered, what's it like, retro?
Cats or whatever. It's sort of like a Jetson sort of style print.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine by me.
Okay.
And but he's got 2 shirts
Actually, I
to make.
wanted to get fabric that isn't a one-time thing
Yeah, so we can wear it to
so we can wear it just around too. So
yeah, just around the house. What do you got on? Just my shirt
I mean,
and the radio.
I mean, we could just dress in like white shirts and black pants and have
We're not going as
ties or
Mormons.
something like that. Yeah, that's supposedly 60s cocktail attire. That's what they do. They used to wear suits and men wear
and skinny
suits.
little black tie.
Men wear suits and women wear cocktail dressers.
Yeah, well,
Well, this is.
we could have wore cocktail dresses.
Yeah, we could have. Yeah.
You know, we could have got out everybody's wardrobe always has the little black dress, you know. So in our case, it'd be a little bigger, but not so little. But black's a slimming color, right? So yeah, yeah.
Well, that idea works for you. I mean,
It's fine.
If not, we'll just wear whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, hopefully,
I'm sure we won't be the only ones that show up wearing whatever.
Well,
so
you got a month,
yeah.
and its fabric hasn't arrived yet. So, anyways, well, hopefully you'll be working your little tailbone off. So that'll be good.
Well, I can nail one all shirts in a day if I really stick my nose to the grindstones.
Oh, fine. Well, I'll stick that nose to the grindstone. You could use it to be shortened a little bit anyway. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what Walter's up to. All right, announcements. As usual, Wednesday, Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen. We didn't have Stephanie last week or this past Wednesday because she's at a big retreat at So Ya in Las Vegas. And I'm sure she'll tell us all about that on her channel as well. And probably tell us a little bit more about it for those of us who will be together on Wednesday to sew. Links in the show notes, of course. And then retreat update. Okay, I just sent out an email about an hour ago to everybody that's registered for the retreat. The retreat is full, and I did have a couple of more people cancel out during the week, and I have filled them in with waiting list. I actually have nobody on my waiting list right now, but there's still a week before this all takes place, and I anticipate there's going to be 1 or 2 people that possibly might drop out sometime middle of next week. And so if you want to come to the retreat, or you want to take a chance that you might get a spot, I need to know that you want to be on the waiting list for it, because no guarantees, but the odds are something will happen. Somebody will have something come up in their life that's unexpected and will drop out. And I do appreciate those people who had to cancel for whatever reason. You sent me an email. You let me know. I was able to fill in your spot with somebody from the waiting list, and that's all fine and dandy. The people I hate are the ones who don't show up on the day of. I hear nothing ever from them. They will be on my blacklist. Okay, just saying. The email I sent out today was just a reminder that if you haven't done it already and you're registered for the retreat and you want to have a picture of one of your favorite creations included in the show and share slideshow, then I need to have that by the end of tomorrow, because that's the cutoff for it. If it comes in after that, I can't work with it because I need to put that slideshow together, and I'm dealing with quite a number of pictures that have come in, and so I need time to get that all organized. So that's why the cutoff is tomorrow, October the 14th, by midnight. Okay. Midnight, but whatever midnight's at your time. Okay, it doesn't matter because I won't be working on it at midnight. It won't work until the next day. Never mind. Okay, and next week, or actually tomorrow, I will be sending out an email to everybody that's registered that just talks about the agenda for the day. It'll talk about the cocktail party, the icebreaker cocktail party. The links will be in there for both the cocktail party and the retreat. You already have those links, but in case you can't find them, you'll get them on this email. And there'll be some links to videos about using Zoom with various devices as well. For those of you that might not be as comfortable using Zoom, they're there to help you too. So there'll be all that information. So watch for that email. Like I said, sometime tomorrow it will be coming out to you. Okay, so we got that all together. So today, this is a topic that was suggested to me by two YouTube creators. And they thought we would be the best people for this because, well, we have no boundaries and very little filtering goes on with us. And it was to talk about YouTube etiquette from both the point of view, well, actually, I think they were suggesting we talk about it from the things that YouTube subscribers do that are, oh, how do you put it gently, rude kind of thing. But I've extended that. We've extended it because we've been talking about this also to what YouTube creators sometimes do that are somewhat rude, possibly, or annoying to subscribers as well. You know, and if you've been on Facebook, you know this. People on Facebook tend to say things because there's an invisible wall.
You're talking Facebook or YouTube?
No, I'm talking about Facebook right now on purpose. Wait.
Well, I don't know. I thought maybe you fell off.
No, I did not fall off the thing. I don't have dementia.
Okay, Facebook. Okay, fine.
Who are you? What are we doing here?
All right, go ahead.
Oh, is it okay now?
Yeah, go ahead. Fine. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. All right. Facebook, what I was going to say about Facebook was, if you've been on Facebook for any time, you know that one of the things is people will get in and say they say things that they would never think to say to somebody's face. And usually those are things that are everything from slightly impolite to very rude to insulting on there. And the reason is there's people feel like they're anonymous because they may be responding to people they've never met before. All there is a name, and some people don't even use a real name, so it gives them another level of being anonymous. And so they say things that really, in polite society, you don't say them or you don't word them in that way. Well, that happens on YouTube too, in the comments section all the time. Or sometimes it happens in chat mode.
I don't believe that happens in Facebook that much. Because in Facebook, you're adding a comment to somebody that you know.
Yeah, but no, not always. There's groups.
On
things
groups,
like that.
Okay, yeah.
And everything. Where have you been?
All right, sure.
Even if
I
they
see
know
you were looking at it from a group's point of view. But if your friend puts up something about, I'm feeling sad today, you're not going to say something nasty to them.
No, if you know the person, you probably,
if
the person is a friend, you're probably not going to say anything nasty like that.
I was thinking more like the comments on your YouTube channel with somebody that you don't know.
Yeah, but I was using the equivalent in Facebook. The point I was trying to make before you ripped a strip off me and you're wrong, was that in social interactions in this format on the internet, when there's a screen in front of you, makes people feel that they can say things that they may be thinking in their head, say it out loud, more readily so than if they were standing right next to you. Like, if you were on the other end of this computer, I might turn around and say, you're an asshole. But would I say that? Yeah, I would say that to your face. I do anyways, because you call me that too. But the point is the anonymity and being anonymous.
Okay, whatever.
Couldn't get the right
All right, go
phrase.
ahead.
But anyways, anything else you'd like to say about that
No,
point right
I'm
now?
fine.
But we're not going to talk about Facebook. I was using that as an example. Apparently it wasn't a good one. Yeah, just roll your eyes, shake your head. Yeah. You just do that now because you know people are watching and they all laugh and giggle and go, oh, little Walter rolls his eyes.
No. I'm just trying to be upfront about the way I feel about things.
Yeah, that's the problem. Sometimes you need to keep them inside your head, not use your outside voice. All right, so I've divided this into two different sections. And all right, I am not saying that I am complaining about people on our YouTube channel. I'm saying in general, but we've all experienced one form or another these things we're talking about. So let's talk about, first of all, etiquette for subscribers. And these aren't in any particular order or ranking system, just whatever came to mind. All right, first thing I want to say is you should always make your comments positive. Start with a positive if you're going to criticize something. We'll come back to how to criticize. But don't just start right in with the negative. Start with a positive. I am very conscious of this kind of thing because when I did my teacher training and all my years of experience as being a teacher, that is the number one rule that we as teachers were always told by our instructors, and which we heard over and over for years. You never write a nasty comment on a kid's assignment. You can be constructively criticized, and you have to be, right? That's how they learn. However, start with a positive. Find something positive you can say. If they spelt their name right, and that was the only thing that was good about the paper, start off with, I'm glad to see you spelt your name right. Well, no, I'm being facetious. But, you find something to say to the kids. I love the way you, in this sentence, in your first paragraph, I loved your phrasing or something like that, because you don't just start right in and unseam them from the nape to the chops. But people on YouTube, subscribers, or people who come in, or even if they're not subscribers, actually in many cases, some of these comments do come from people that are not full-fledged subscribers. They're people who are floating through YouTube and they see something and they watch it and then they feel like that's that anonymous part coming in. But they will say some very unpleasant things. And sometimes these comments have nothing to do with your video. They're personal comments. Like they'll turn around and say, one YouTube creator that I know of, a female, they turned around and said she was ugly. Beauty's in the eyes of the beholder, but that's not appropriate. Would they walk up to this person at a party or something and go, oh, by the way, you're ugly? You know how that would go over, right? Probably.
Or you're too fat.
Or you're too fat. Or I don't like your outfit. Or, ooh, your color of hair. Now, I'm definitely saying this more towards female content creators. I think become more susceptible to that because they are female than males. But they'll pick on personal attributes. Oh, your voice is too squeaky. Or your voice is too high. Or whatever. Well, you can't do much about that. If someone said to me, wrote a comment, well, you're fat. Now I could say, well, I can always go on a diet, but you'll still be ugly. I mean, but people do that. And there is no need for that whatsoever. It has nothing to do with the content of a video at all. So, but they'll make other comments too. They will criticize people's opinions. I mean, you have to remember, most content creators doing what we're doing right now, it's our opinion. That's how you make conversation. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but you're not entitled to deliver your opinion in such a way that you hurt the other person's feelings. And there's a way that you can word things. So that's where I go back to. Start with something positive, and then, then gently ease them into what your criticism might be. And so that takes me to the second point. Make comments constructive. If a lot of people, everybody has an opinion, right? What's that thing? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. So, and sometimes people don't realize that when they're so invested into their own opinion, they're not open to the fact that there could be other ways of seeing things, and that creates conflict. Well, you can say that about anything in the world, can't you? But you should make the comment constructive, and I'm sure everybody's heard that expression before, constructive criticism. What is constructive criticism? It's where you are pointing out something in a kind way to help somebody or something improve, or to make an improvement in the future. It's something that maybe you feel the person doesn't know or doesn't realize, and you're trying to help them out with it. And that's probably the way you should take it sometimes. But you got to be careful with your wording on it. And the English language, which is what we're dealing with here, because that's what we speak, is a very poor medium of communication. I know. I was an English teacher, all right? Words were my business for it. Sometimes people say things and they mean it to be funny. But you see, if you and I were meeting each other, and if I looked at Walter and I said, "Nice shirt," when I say it that way, and with the look on my face, like, "Nice shirt," that's sarcasm, meaning, it's not really nice. It's an ugly shirt. But if I turn around and I go, "Nice shirt," totally different context. But I didn't change my words. I changed my face. I changed the tone of my voice. But you can't do that in a written comment. Nobody can see who the person is that's making the comment, so you have no clues. That's why there's emojis, and things like that. So if someone can put a happy face at the end, just to make sure that, they realize, or make you realize when you're reading it, that they were joking. Or I like to put LOL at the end of thing. If I make some kind of comment that could be misconstrued as an insult, and I don't mean it as an insult, or I mean it just to be funny, then I'll put LOL, because you can't see my face to know whether I'm being serious or whether I'm seriously cutting you up or being polite. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we agree. Next one. Before you blame the content creator for technical issues, make sure it isn't a problem on your end. How many times have we heard, or I've seen comments written on other YouTube thing, "I can't hear you." "Oh, there's no sound to your video." Oh, I've had that one before. And actually, I had this recently, and I have discovered something. YouTube has to process your video. But what YouTube does is it puts it up before it's completely processed. So what I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to schedule my things up for about an hour after I have uploaded it, to give YouTube time to do whatever it is that their computer program is doing to processing it. Because this is what I get. I get panicked email messages.
Yeah, like the video goes up, but then the sound hasn't gone up yet.
Yeah.
So what happens is you start watching the video and you don't hear any sound, and immediately you say, "I don't hear any sound."
Yeah.
Your sound's not there.
So what I do is I usually write back to the people and I put, "Yeah, just try it again in half an hour." And I'm getting tired of doing that. So, and also it's a ripple effect. One person does that, then another person sees that and it goes, "Well, wait, I had sound. Yeah. Why didn't you have sound?" And then they write back, "Well, I didn't have any sound at all." And they haven't tried it. And there's an argument. Believe it or not, there's an argument that starts out of that. So in order to avoid that problem, I am now trying to remember to take my videos after I've sent them to YouTube and put them in. I can schedule it for a certain time. So like if I uploaded it at 10 o'clock in the morning, I will schedule it so it won't go live until 11. It gives YouTube enough time then to do the processing so I won't have to listen to that. But we've had other ones before, and people get really nasty, especially during lives. Well, there's no sound. But, and there is a possibility that could happen. Okay, we'll come back to technical problems from a YouTube creator's point of view. It could be a problem at our end. Okay, it could be. But what I do now to make sure is we have a little iPad that sits over here off to the side. And I have it tuned in to monitor when we're doing a live. And it looks the same on that iPad as it does for the people wherever you are when you come into the YouTube. So I can hear it. So I know if our sound is working or not. So then you get these people on there and they get nasty. It's not, oh, I don't know if you don't realize it or not, but we can't hear you. It's
no sound in capital letters
yeah,
with a big exclamation mark on
yeah.
it.
And do you know when you write, okay, here's another thing that spins off of this. When you write a comment, either in a live chat or as a comment in a YouTube video, and you write all in capitals, that means you are shouting. You are mad. You are yelling. I don't know how many people knew that, but it is. That's offensive. Okay? Unless the YouTube creator has asked you, and some do during a live, so it pops up, they'll say, if you have a question, can you put it all in capitals, please? That way you can see it better because things are rolling by really quickly with that kind of thing. But back to this whole thing about the technical. First of all, what I do is I've been on video, gone on and watched a video and there's no sound or the sound is too low or whatever. I immediately assume it's something wrong with my equipment. And I go and I check all my settings. I check my speakers, everything like that. I don't assume immediately that the YouTube creator has made a mistake on there. And if they have, I probably don't watch the video. If it's somebody that I know very well as a YouTube creator, I will send them a private message and say, I don't know if you realized it, but on your video, this happened as well. But you don't just immediately go for the juggler and assume that it's always the fault of the creator. Check your own stuff first. And if it is a fault with the creator's part, send them a message privately about it and just say, did you realize that? And if it's during a live, well, you can't really send a private message during a live. But what you can do is just very nicely say, and not all in capitals, I've just checked my equipment and I don't think it's my problem, but you might be, is anybody else having a problem, hearing this? And then you'll see what people have to say about it.
Your verse 2 is, you're too loud.
Oh, yeah, and I've had that. Your speakers, your microphones are too loud. And I say, turn down your speakers. Because not all speakers, depending on how you've got your computer hooked up to what you've got it hooked up to, some laptops do not have good volume on them. Or
it varies depending on what kind of equipment you're listening to. Like, I mean, we're recording it one way, and you may be listening to it on an iPad or through earphones or through something else. And depending on what you're listening to it through, it can change the volume of what you're listening to. So you really need to adjust that volume a bit on your own as well. So,
well, the similar situation is, think of your own television set at home when you have the volume turned up. You have the control to turn it up if you can't hear something, or to turn it down if it's too loud. And I used to have this argument with my mother when I was a kid. That television set's too loud, and quit turning it up. Well, it was during the commercials. Commercials are always louder than other television shows, especially in the days back before we have smart TVs. Smart TVs have things built into them now for, equalizing out the sound. The old television sets didn't, and they purposely made commercials louder to keep your attention, to get your attention. My mother used to scream at us all the time. I couldn't convince her that I had not touched the dial on the TV set when the commercial came on. I did not turn it up. And it's all the time. She still, well, she's dead now, so it doesn't matter. But, so yeah. So check your own equipment first from it. Again, just turn down the volume, or turn it up, whichever you want with it. Okay. Okay, here's one. This is a pet peeve. All right. Don't ask about links to things until you check the show notes, the notes underneath the video. Most content creators will, if they've talked about some specific items, will put links to those specific items in the show notes. Usually, not always. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it doesn't happen at all for this or that, because they may make an assumption you can find it. But I try to do that if I'm talking about a product or something like that. But also, I will talk about it in the context of the video. So make sure you listen attentively to YouTube creators, what they're saying. So you don't ask about something that's already been talked about. Now, you can go back. There's nothing stopping you from going back in the video to catch something you missed. Also, here's a handy little thing that I don't know if a lot of people know about. I'm not sure if it's on automatically or whether a creator has to turn it on, but it seems to me that a lot of videos now on YouTube automatically have transcript. And I have used this sometimes. If I turn on the transcript, I can see in written format what they're talking about. And so if I've missed something, like they said, the name of a product, and I didn't quite get it, if I've got the transcript turned on, I can backtrack through the transcript and find that part, and there it is for me as well. So there are ways to do this. If you really can't find something, if they didn't list it, they didn't say where it came from, then there's nothing wrong with asking about it. But also there's an amazing little device on a computer. I don't know if you're aware of it. What's it called, Walter, for doing, like, finding things?
It's called Google.
Google it.
People that ask questions about things, when they can Google it.
Yeah.
All kinds of things. Any question you have in the world, write it into Google. It'll give you an answer.
It'll give you lots of answers for it. And the thing is, you're probably watching these videos on an electronic device that's connected to the internet, and it's got a keyboard. So whether it's an iPad, an iPhone, or a laptop, you have access to Google at your fingertips. So don't be lazy. Do a little search. Don't expect a content creator to be your personal
so those
Googler.
are questions that are demanding.
Yeah.
Do this, do that, do this. Like, one thing that we do is we'll sometimes talk about, like, our sewing machines, which are like Genomes, right? And somebody will suddenly write into their, what's the difference between a 6700P and a Brother model something or another?
You don't know.
I don't know. We don't use Brother machines. So how can we give a comparison? And not only that, the channel that you've got is not saying comparing sewing machines.
Yeah.
So, like, don't ask us something weird, like compare two machines that we have no idea.
Yeah.
I can tell you the features of my Janome, but I can't tell you the features of a Brother or a Bernina or some other sewing machine.
We can't tell you about something we don't know anything about either. Now, maybe that's our fault. Maybe we give the impression when we're talking about sewing machines like that we know everything there is to know about every sewing machine that's ever made on the face of the planet. Well, we don't. Okay. But
often the questions that are asked are demanding. Right? They're saying, you tell me what the difference is between that. And like...
So basically what Walter is saying, it's all about tone. Okay, what I said a few minutes ago about, we don't have a context. We can't see your face. We don't know. But if you've chosen words and put them together in a certain way, it can come across to us is that you are demanding. YouTube content creators are not at anybody's whim. We are not a service. For the most part, content on YouTube is not costing anybody anything. You're not paying for this. Okay? So don't treat a content creator like they're your personal assistant for it all. Asking questions is fine. Most content creators
if somebody said to me, well, I like the 6700p, but do you have any idea what the difference is between this and a different, like a brand machine? No, but chances are we can't answer that question. So
yeah, but there's a polite way to put a question, and then there's the ones that demand.
Or then there's people that say, I really like that pattern, but I hate the colors.
Well, okay. A better way to rephrase that is, I really like the pattern, but I think I would use different colors in that. See, because what you're implying is, oh, I presented this pattern to you, and I have the ability to change the colors in it. I don't. It's not my pattern. Okay? I'm just making you aware of this pattern's available out there somewhere. But I can't do anything about the design or that's somebody else's product. I can't change that.
Or, I really like you, but your partner is annoying.
Well, enough about you and how I feel about that. When did you have that? Or you just
I just thought of that.
Oh, you're just being funny. Context, people, context.
Okay.
But okay, so don't be argumentative.
We can be argumentative.
We can be argumentative on here because that's part of the entertainment value. At least according to a lot of them, you seem to like to see us going at each other's throats. But what I mean by argumentative is, again, it goes back to what I was saying about tone. People have strong opinions about certain subjects. Okay, we all do. There's something that gets in our claw, and we've got to talk about it and get in there. But nobody knows everything about everything.
Yeah, like you might have an opinion about a certain tool that you're using or something like that, and may show it or something, and then somebody said, "Why it on you? You're wrong.
Yeah,
you're using it wrong," and that's it. That's all they say.
Yeah, there's the thing.
And or they may be better off, writing. I use the tool differently, or it works differently for me.
And here were my results.
Yeah.
Or something from it. But no, like if people get really upset about it, and actually it's usually something very minor. I'm trying to think of an example. I think I talked sometimes I'll talk about something that I have used that worked really well for me. And I'll get somebody to say, oh, I bought one of those and that was a waste of money. It never worked at all. Well, wait, that's not, okay, remember constructive criticism? That's not constructive. And that's argumentative. What they should say is, oh, I bought one of those too, but I didn't have really great results with it. I found that this wasn't working for me because of this, or that. Okay, that's reasonable. All right? Or brand names on things or something, People can get so upset over, sewing machines. Okay, we're Janome people because that's what we started with. That's what we're with. Is it the best sewing machine in the world? Probably not, but I don't know what machine is. It's whatever you are used to that you like. If it works for you, that's fine. But you get into and we've done it here, you get into the whole controversy with the Berninas and the Janomes, right? And as I always make the joke of, oh, Berninas, they drank the Kool-Aid, okay? because people have very strong opinions about their brand of sewing machine that they're going to use. And that's fine. But let's remember, what you like and worked well for you may not have been well liked by another person for other reasons, okay? None of us have the definitive statement.
Yeah, actually, a common analogy to that is people that buy certain brands of cars. Right?
Yeah.
Because I have a sister that loves to buy GM cars, and I know somebody else that loves to buy Ford cars. And when you say so-and-so bought a GM car, the Ford people look at it and go, you bought a GM. And the GM people look at it and go, oh, you bought a Ford. And people can get really hung up on their brands of vehicles or things like that. And the same with sewing machines. People get really hung up on using a Bernina as opposed to a Janome or as opposed to a Husqvarna or some other company. They get in love with their particular brand of machine and they'll purchase no other. Right? And they think everybody else in the world should purchase that one too.
And when we've been attacked on this level where people have, maybe because we talk a lot about Janome, again, we talk about that which we know. We know Janome because that's what we have, okay? They will attack us.
Well, you've never sewn on a Bernina, so you don't know.
And they're right, but I don't say that Bernina is a piece of shit or something like that. I don't know. I've never used one. If you love your Bernina or your Husqvarna or whatever brand you've got and it's working fine for you, good. But don't attack other people because they don't have the same sewing machine or same product or same car or whatever as you. I mean, that's how conflict gets started in the world. You know, like religion. You know, just because somebody's a Christian and somebody's something else, but one religion's trying to say it's superior over another. Well, John Lennon, think about it. Imagine if there was no religion. But I deviate. That's the word I want. Deviate. Okay. Oh yeah. Don't try to make everything about you on a channel. All right. This is a touch and go kind of topic. Have you ever tuned into a video, and there's many of them out there, where the person, the content creator, is on there going, "Hi, I'm sorry. I haven't put out a video in the last 2 weeks because I've been sick."
Are we still on etiquette?
Yeah, we're still, because this leads into the other one. There's method to my madness. I've been sick, and the dog got hit by a car, and one of my kids has got the flu, and my husband is a maniac, and the stove isn't working. No one wants to hear that. Okay? Now, that's from content creators doing that. And I know if I go on to a YouTube channel where somebody is whining like that for the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and yeah, it can go on longer than that. I can give you some really good examples. Or, you know, you hear the ones who get on there and they start to cry because they're not getting the love and support from their subscribers they think they should be getting. Okay, that's a fault with the content creator right there, and I turn those ones right off, and I do not subscribe to them. However, there is also a similar situation that happens on the other end with subscribers. In lives especially, how many times I've been in a live, and I'm not talking about our lives in particular, but just lives in general, because I go on other lives as well. And the first thing that comes out of somebody that's in the chat thing is, "Oh, I've been really sick." I ignore those comments. I'm sorry, maybe that's cruel and heartless, but you know why? Because to me, that's just somebody looking for attention. And it takes the attention away from whatever the content creator who is doing the live is talking about. Then you get a whole bunch of people in the chat bar going, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you were sick." Because people feel then if they don't say something nice to the person who said they're sick and feed into it, then they're a horrible individual. I just live with being a horrible individual. I very seldom say anything, unless it's somebody that I really know well. Then yes, because they're a friend, okay? And that's what you do with friends. But don't bring your problems to the table in a YouTube video, whether you're a content creator or a subscriber. That's not what this is for. That's why there are people out there who are professionals and give therapy that you pay for. Don't use YouTube as your form of therapy for it, these kind of things, because no one's going to be able to solve your problems. And it really takes away from whatever the content is of that particular video for both the content creator and for the other subscribers. Now, another point that's related to this are the ones who come on and they try to take control of the content or the conversation.
Especially on lives, right?
Yeah, lives is where this happens the most. And they come right in and they start trying to change the topic. Or to the point, and this has happened on our lives a couple of times, and it gets me really angry when this happens. Or when. It doesn't happen a lot, but it has happened a few times. Person doesn't like the direction that our conversation might be going in and decides to try and change the topic by saying, well, enough about that. What do you think about this? Or can we talk about this? Or whatever. No. No. You are not in control as a subscriber. The person that's in control is the content creator. You've heard me say this before. My sandbox, my rules. What that means is, if you want to control content, then have your own YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. And you do what you want on there. It's like somebody, if you were having a conversation at a party with somebody else about some topic, and somebody kind of joined in the conversation but decided they didn't like where the conversation was going or didn't want to talk about that and interrupt and try to change the whole subject. That's rude.
And that's also like if somebody writes a comment like on your YouTube that you're discussing a personal topic or something like that on YouTube, and they come around and they say, I don't agree with your content. I was watching it for just sewing, and I didn't want to have to listen to something political, right? And then make a comment like that. Well, that particular person can go to another channel.
Yeah, they don't have to listen to it.
Or they can unsubscribe from you or something if they don't like the content.
I don't like the content that's on certain YouTube videos that I've watched, and I don't subscribe to them because...
Or I'll turn them off.
Or I turn it off if I don't like it. I don't bother trying to berate the person, because what that is a control thing. They're trying, the person that's writing that comment is trying to take the control away from the content creator. And no. And as content creators, we have a very powerful thing that we can use. And I'm not afraid to use it. It's called the delete key. If somebody gets into my face too many times and it's not constructive, it's just being what we just described, I delete them. I block them from the YouTube channel. Now you might think, well, that's a form of censorship. It definitely is. And it's perfectly legal to do that. Because I feel that it undermines the atmosphere or my content for my channel.
Because it's almost like somebody's stalking you.
Yeah.
Or somebody is setting up a negative tone on your channel. So
I mean, hate speech is not allowed in this country, Canada.
Yeah.
Okay? In any form, in any medium whatsoever. And that, in a sense, is a form of hate speech when they attack the person. You know, if you don't agree with the person, if you find it offensive, you don't have to watch it. You don't have to subscribe to it.
Well, not only that, you don't have to, if you voice your opinion, you also don't have to voice it in such a way like you're wrong or I don't like this or something like that. Well, you can say that if you want, but I mean,
people can be wrong. But
or I disagree with your opinion, which is that's probably as nice a way you can get away.
Or even saying, well, in my opinion, I thought maybe this and that. Soften it. You can still get your point across, but you don't have to push it right into their face, because the first thing that you do is emotions kick in then on the other end, and nothing good comes out of that at all. It's being diplomatic. It's being diplomatic. And in this world, we seem to have lost the art of diplomacy in a lot of things.
Especially on YouTube, and especially in the comment section. And you don't have your name attached to it. You have Joni...
Like Joni
Great Sewer Sower or something like that, right? And
or car lover
or something like that. And nobody knows who you are, so you'll just go and write any mean thing you want to, because nobody knows who the hell you are. So,
and there are people, purposely trolls out there. They live for that. That's what they do.
They're trying to shock people.
They bebop around the YouTube channels and everything, and they'll write nasty comments. And they're sick people, okay? Obviously, that does something for their ego, which means they've got some problems. They need to go get professional help or new meds. Yeah, so nothing. Don't badmouth other creators or compare them to another creator, okay? There are some things we need to keep to ourselves, okay? It taints the atmosphere of a channel if people are on there saying, oh, well, on such and such a channel, they're such an idiot because they did this, that, and the other thing and whatnot. No, there's no place for that in the comment section of YouTube.
Everybody that's a creator does their own thing,
and they do it their own way.
People watch it depending on who, if it appeals to them or not, right? So if so-and-so has a channel and you say, well, so-and-so, they're boring to watch, or so-and-so does things differently, or you should do things more like so-and-so does. And, well, what's the point of that? Because we're not going to change.
No. So again, you don't have to watch with that. But to take this, what Walter was saying, a little bit further, we have experienced subscribers or a subscriber who is a subscriber to multiple channels, different creators, but the creators are in contact with each other. But we have seen examples where, because of something on one channel, this person has gone to another channel and complained about the one channel they don't like to the other creator, or compared them. Or this control thing again. They're trying to make like conflict.
I mean, there's people that go on and they'll say, oh, well, we don't like Stephen and Walter live, right? Or we don't like Stephen and Walter, and they'll go on to a different creator's channel and say, oh, well, you shouldn't watch these two guys because I'm against them because of this, or something like that, or something. And they'll try and egg on another creator to try and badmouth our channel or somebody else's channel.
They're being very malicious and manipulative with that. And again, this goes with what I said about trolls too. They're a type of troll as well. Says, so be friendly and kind, and if you can't say anything positive, keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. There's no need to be... Yes, sometimes creators will say something.
Like, I mean,
will get you riled up.
Like, it's not saying that you can't criticize somebody. I mean, but try and do it in a nice way.
Yeah, this goes back to constructive criticism.
Have you ever thought of doing it this way?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of doing it that way? Have you ever thought of using different colors? And
you're bound to get more of a positive reaction from whoever you're giving that criticism to when you voice it in that way, because they aren't being... you're not affronting them. You're not getting their air up.
Because
overall.
I mean, somebody says to me, I might be stuck on using two different colors together. And then somebody else say, well, I don't really like those two colors together, but I do like these two other colors together. What do you think of that?
Or a better way to put what Walter just said is, that probably wouldn't been my color choice. That's kind of a little bit out of my wheelhouse. But I could probably do these two colors because that'd be okay. That's a reasonable comment. You're not turning around and attacking the person. What you're doing is you're saying that just isn't what you like, but you would do this.
And because of that tone, when you're saying that, then even us as creators could turn around and go, geez, well, I never really thought about those two colors. Maybe I should take a look at that.
Yeah.
You know?
So see, that's constructive criticism. Back to constructive criticism in that. And the one thing that really gets my goat is, and it's because I was an English teacher, is writing clearly. I've already said how important words are because they're the only thing we have to go by as to what the meaning is behind your words. Okay, what the subtext is. Because we can't see your face, we can't hear your tone of voice with it. So that makes it even more important to communicate clearly in written form. And what does that mean? Well, yes, it does mean using the rules of good grammar.
Okay, so yeah, there's that. Not to change the topic that much, but another thing that they do is they'll watch a channel, they'll watch one of your video programs from 2 years ago, right?
Yep.
And then they'll, in a current channel or current video, they will comment, well, I was watching your video from way back when you were looking at a Janome 6700P and or a different sewing machine or something. They won't even tell you what kind of sewing machine it is. And I didn't know it could do this. That has nothing to do with the video that you're currently watching. And we made that video 2 years ago. We haven't watched it. So.
I'll let you in on a little secret about being a content creator. At least for me, I don't remember what I put up a week ago. What I said. I'd have to go back and review the video, and I'm not going to do that. And so I need context. If you've got a legitimate question or something from an older video, or even from last week's video or something, set up the context. And I have said this before on here. That way I can answer your question. You say, but you put, oh yeah, I disagree what you were saying last week. About what? I have many people have done that kind of a thing. It's like they assume that I immediately know, or any content creator knows exactly what you're talking about.
I was watching a video of you putting in a drunkard's path on a quilt, and I really like the colors. So can you tell me what you were using?
No. That's the answer. Yep. No, I can't. I don't remember. Do you remember everything? I'm in my mid-60s. All right? Memory isn't a strong point anymore. I walk into a room and look around and go, why did I walk into this room? I open up a fridge door and go, there's something I was going to get in here. What was it? And I have a feeling, looking at the demographics of our channel, that a lot of people understand what I'm talking about with that. So if I can't remember why I walked into a room for something, how am I going to remember what I talked about 2 years ago in a video, or even 2 weeks ago? Unless you can jog my memory. And when I say mine, I mean all YouTube creators go through the same thing.
Well, even if you put yourself in the same position, would you be able to tell somebody what you did a week ago or something like that? Or what particular fabric you used on a quilt 3 years ago?
Yeah. Unless you keep extensive notes about those kind of things. Or, and if the person gives you more of a context, like, okay, some of them say, oh, there was a video I was watching the other day on your channel, and you said this. I'm just wondering, and they ask you a question, you go, I don't know which video you're talking about. If you can turn around and give it a reference point, in video number 133, done on November the 2nd, 2020,
at the 17-minute mark,
yeah,
you asked this.
Yeah, actually, the timing marks are excellent things to put in because, and if you put in all that information, yes, it takes a little bit more time for you to do all that, but you're going to get an answer more because I will look at it and go, oh, okay, that video was on November the 2nd, 2020. All right, I'll go there, and it was at time mark 1734 or something. I'll go back, review it, and go, oh, okay, I understand what you're asking me now. I can give you an answer. Otherwise, and I'll be honest about this with you, I don't answer you.
No, because you're not going to spend the time
to do the research,
to find something that you're not sure what you're looking for.
And that goes back to what we said about using Google. Because oftentimes those kind of questions are about something that someone could have gone in and asked that question in a Google, and come up with the answer. So yeah, if you want to get an answer to a question and it's important to you, then do the groundwork first and give as much detail around that question so that the creator has context and they can help you with it. Otherwise, and I'm sure I'm not the only creator that does this, you don't give me enough information, I'm not going to start a dialogue with you going back and forth and trying to figure out what it is that you want to know.
Well, not only that, when you have 10,000 people that are watching your channel, you're not going to go and try and answer everybody's question.
Yeah. I know that sometimes, and this is a fault of this medium, like we're talking to you right now. So it's like, you're our friend. You tune in every week. You've gotten to know us. You know us probably better than we know you. So you probably feel like that when you're asking these kind of questions, you're asking a friend. Well, you're not. Okay, we are friendly, we hope, but we're not really that kind of, we don't have that kind of relationship, okay, with it. So give context. Okay, so we've done a lot of picking on you, on subscribers. Let's pick on content creators and ourselves, okay? Because we're not perfect with this. If you haven't figured that out yet, where you been? Okay. I mentioned the thing about don't cut up and complain about other creators from subscribers' point of view. This goes with content creators too. And I have found a few, but only a few, that will do that. They will criticize somebody else's YouTube channel or something that has been brought up in it. I have been brought up in other YouTube channels as well. And not always in a flattering way. Well, like for example, this took place quite a while ago, but according to this one person out there, the idiot quilts or sews or something like that, he just absolutely hates Bernina sewing machines. No, I don't. I don't own one. But they've taken me out of context for one thing, or they've got something to gripe about. Other people who have never heard about my channel or don't know who I am, if they go looking for me for whatever reason, then are coming to me with possibly a negative mindset. So it is not good form for any content creator to criticize another content creator. It does not get you brownie points for doing that. In fact, it makes you seem very trivial, small, belligerent. And do you want to subscribe to somebody that's like that on their channel? I don't. Give credit where credit is due. This is very significant. Okay, let's take a comparison here. Essays. When you went to university or college or you're in high school, okay, plagiarism. You were always told you had to reference where your source material came from. Otherwise, it was plagiarism, it's violation of copyright, all those kind of things, okay? And if you were in a situation like an English classroom in high school, you were probably taught how to properly reference, and you probably heard the expression, you have to give credit where credit is due. If it's somebody else's idea, somebody else's research, and you're quoting them in your body of your work, then you have to say where that information came from. Well, the same with YouTube. However, there are people on YouTube creators, who will pick something out of somebody else's video and claim it as being an original idea to themselves. Now, is there any original ideas on YouTube in the creative world, in quilting, for example, or sewing? Not really. Everything is a variation on a theme. If I present you with a finished quilt, I tell you who made the pattern and usually where I got the pattern from, because it's not my pattern. If you watch somebody like, say, Donna Jordan, who writes a lot of her own patterns, but she's always showing other patterns that she's putting together, she will tell you, I cannot give you the cutting instructions because this is not my pattern. This is a pattern from Cozy Quilts or something like that. And she names the company and she names the title of the pattern. She does not claim that it's original to her. And she's not going to give you all the information because this is a commercial product and somebody makes money from that. That is just good business sense, and it's common sense. But there are creators out there I have seen who basically steal somebody else's idea and claims it's their own. Now, can you steal an idea about making a 9-patch block? No, because that's a traditional thing. It's been around there. You're not really stealing from anybody. That's something everybody knows. But if somebody took that 9-patch and did something astounding with it, and then I was to take it and present it to you as though this is my own idea, that's plagiarism. That's not giving credit where credit is due. So you have to watch. Creators have to watch for that. Now, sometimes you do it by accident. You might forget. But there are some out there that just belligerently do it. And I don't watch them. We've already kind of talked about this one. Do list product links when you can. I try to, but sometimes there's so many things. Like, for example, I know I get a lot of questions about, okay, I'm showing fabric and I forget to say, I forget to say who the fabric's by. I'm just showing you the color, the pattern, and the whole bit, and I will get questions. Who makes that? So I try now in my videos when I present fabric to try and say who the manufacturer is of the fabric, but I don't always know. Sometimes you don't know because there isn't any salvage on it, like batiks, for example, and you bought it a week or so ago before you.
Or you bought it 2 years ago.
Okay, and yeah, I bought it. Yeah, like we get.
I mean, I made a shirt for you a little while ago with cats on it. It's brown and beige with a red in it, and I bought that fabric 2 years ago. And somebody asked me, okay, what fabric did you use? So I had enough salvage to be able to tell them what fabric it was. But I said to them, I bought it a couple of years ago, and I haven't seen it on the shelf for a long time. So.
You know, and it is possible that, because what happens when, for some YouTube creators, sometimes they make videos in batches. I make my videos I plan my video a week ahead before I do it. And I will start to, like, my vlog and the Idiot Quilter episodes, those ones, like next week's videos, are already made. All I have to do is put them all together with my part of it, my commentary in between them, and it's done. So I'm always thinking a week ahead, but some creators are thinking months ahead. Some, especially like if they're tutorial ones or something like that, they will record a batch of them in a row, and then they'll put them up on YouTube, and we have the ability to be able to schedule them when they will be released. For example, if you saw the 4S Club collaboration video that we did where we introduced our challenge project back a month ago. Well, it wasn't even a month ago. It was first of this month, a whole bit. We made that video at the beginning of September. And we put it up and had it scheduled to come on a specific date and that. I don't remember what we said in that video unless I watch it again. Okay? So that's why I don't do things too much and too far ahead, because I'll get lost with it. But some do. So, if you see some of the old stuff, like stuff I made 5 years ago when I first started quilting, when I knew nothing at all. And some would say I know nothing now about it. Like Walter said, I don't remember what I used. And again, this goes back to, see, these things are interrelated. This goes back to when somebody gives you a question that they don't set the context up properly. I have no idea what you're talking about. So as content creators, our etiquette should be, if we can, we should, in our show notes at least, if not in the body of what we're talking about, try to give as much information about a product we're talking about that will help somebody find that product again. But that's sometimes not always possible, or sometimes you forget. Don't start a video by complaining. All right? And this goes back to what I said before. Hi, I've been sick. And I think that leads into, don't be too personal.
Yeah, I mean, when you're making a video on a specific thing, like your blog or whatever you do, or a thing, get right to the point of why you're making the video, not necessarily complaining about your personal problems. Like I said to Steve the other day, I said there was one video I watched a few years ago when I was purchasing my other car, and the gentleman posted a review of this type car, right? And so I went and logged on to it. The first 20 minutes of his video all went on about his personal problems and that he had been ill and all this other stuff. It said nothing about the car. And then until the 20 minutes rolled around, he started talking about the car. Well, by that time I was bored and I turned off the video, and I actually did something I wasn't supposed to do, is write a nasty comment on his video.
And we just said that's not a good thing.
And then he banned me from his channel. But anyway, which is something I shouldn't have done. I should have said, what I probably should have said, well, I came onto your video channel. I was kind of expecting to hear about the car. But it would have been nice if you condensed your personal problems so that you didn't take over the video or something like that. Or made it sound a little nicer.
And I'm sure you can, in your experience of surfing through YouTube videos, you've seen the ones that we're talking about that do that. It is a fine line, because I said before, we considered the subscribers, our regular subscribers, and that more like friends, even though we may never have actually physically met these people at all. That's our style on here.
I mean, it's one thing to say, look, I may cough a couple of times throughout this presentation, or sneeze a few times because I'm still getting over a cold or something like that. But
you go on and on about it. First of all, it makes many people uncomfortable because they don't know what to say or what to do about that kind of thing. And it starts to reflect upon your personality too. What kind of person are you? Because everybody's trying to figure out what everybody's like.
I mean, there's some content creators that almost use YouTube as their own therapy session.
Yeah. Like I said before, I have seen some content creators who burst into tears. And if because they're not getting, as a friend of mine once said, stroked. They're looking
for attention,
Yeah. And okay, let's face it. To be in front of a camera to do what we're doing right now does involve your ego to a certain extent. You can get a big head about being a YouTube creator, especially if people are saying nice things to you a lot. It's like Sally Fields at the Academy Awards. You love me. You really, really love me, kind of a thing. Yeah, but we're not celebrities on here.
We're kind of everyday people that like to sew,
and creating these videos too is a hobby. This is a hobby. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do these videos. And Walter didn't used to enjoy doing them either, but I've sucked him right in, and now he just loves it because he's got a fan club and everything like that. Speaking of ego, but I don't know if I'm getting my point across with this, saying that, because this is a fine line. You may think you know us, okay? Because if you're a regular subscriber, because we tend to be very honest, and that's another thing I think YouTube creators need to be, is honest about things. Things happen, okay, or where. But I don't try to bullshit your audience, because people can smell that a mile away, and then they don't really start to believe anything you're saying or trust what you might be saying about something like that. And you need to win people's trust over. And I think the best way to do that is just to be very honest and upfront. But you don't know everything about us. How could you? You never really have met us. What you see is what we allow you to see through the screen. Okay? You don't know what's behind other closed doors and that kind of thing. And that goes with any creator. When a creator gets too personal on there, then they're doing damage to themselves and to their subscriber base. They're setting themselves up for a fall, because the trolls will come on and go, oh, boo-hoo, you big baby, sucky, sucky, suck it up, kind of thing. And that creates a different atmosphere on a channel, which may turn off subscribers. People won't want to go. Also, it depends on why a creator's creating a channel. I did not create a channel to be a star. I created a channel in order to show people what I was doing wrong in quilting, my journey through it. I wanted a recording. Basically, I never kept a diary in my life. I have a video diary now, but I share it with other people.
Isn't it also because you're a classroom teacher?
And I like an audience.
And you like an audience.
I do. That's my ego. Okay? I was used to being in front of people. When I retired, suddenly I didn't have people to be in front of it. And that's very lonely. And making that transition to that kind of life, well, it's not easy. So this is how I made the transition, is through that. So why are you on here? Because
I got sucked in.
No, because he takes great joy, sadistic joy, out of pointing out in public why I'm wrong.
Well, no, actually, I was quite frightened at first to be on the camera, and I
got over that.
No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, and it took me quite a while to get the hang of it. Now I've gotten to the point where I can talk to the camera and ignore the fact that there's all these people watching me.
Yeah. See, you don't know everything about us. There's other things. Stay tuned. You may over time. I guess the other things too that this one just bugs the rear end right off us both. Okay, it's bad enough that we have to put up, when you're watching a YouTube video, with the ads that YouTube puts up there. Okay? Now we know that people, we're monetized, so that means we have to put up with the ads. But even if we weren't monetized, YouTube changed it a few years ago that if you're monetized or not monetized, they will still stick an ad in. It used to be if you weren't monetized, there weren't any ads.
We do, or you do, get a little bit of money from the ads that get put up, but it's not a significant amount.
You've heard me talk before. I make no bones about it. I make, on average, once every month, about 200 Canadian dollars from ads. Actually, I make a little bit more than that, but YouTube takes 30% of whatever I make in a month for American income tax, even though I'm Canadian. I have a problem with that, but I can't do anything about it. I'm never going to get rich from doing this. Other content creators who have 50,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, whatever, every time they put up a video, they have like 100,000 views. Yeah, they're making money. Okay, but they're also running it like a business.
That's their job. They're doing
that's their job. And if you want a good example of that, watch Mr. Beastie, or Mr. Beast, I guess it is. That man is one of the top earners, if not the top earner on YouTube. He has staff. He pays people to do things and whatnot, because he's got the base for it. He is making money from it, but that's his job. That's what he does for a living. That's where his living comes from. Mine does not depend on this. But then there are other ones who get sponsors. Now, something you may or may not know. If you're not a YouTube creator, you may not know this. Businesses, all kinds of different businesses, reach out to you through your email and want to partner with you to basically sell their product on your YouTube channel. I block most of those when they come through. I've never ever considered any of them, because this is what I hate. You're watching a video and in the middle of it suddenly you go, that reminds me.
Our sponsor today is...
I have been buying. They don't even say sponsor in most cases.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes if they're supposed to put a little thing up that says there's paid promotion. It goes up on the top of the screen. Some creators will click that button for that. Others don't. And I was watching one today. He was doing that food company, Farm Fresh or Fresh, whatever. It's one of those boxed food services. But they come in and go, and you know, something else that I really like that I'm finding right now is this product. Now, they suck you in because, one, you can't you'd have to turn off the video or try to fast forward past their little ad. Mm-hmm. Some do ones for all kinds of different products, and they do a different product all the time or whatever because they're constantly getting sponsored. They are being paid to do that. They are given not usually given a script from what I understand, but they're given a what do they call it? Notes list, bullet points or something like that, and they basically write their own script for that. Now, it's funny that YouTube hasn't caught on to this yet, and I'm sure they have, because that's lost revenue for YouTube. Because YouTube sells advertising space. And these companies are getting around that, having not to pay YouTube, and they're paying probably not a whole lot to the individual creator who is doing their product or advertising. On top of it, sometimes they're paying them in product. They might give them a sample of something or whatever.
It's HelloFresh that you're...
HelloFresh, yeah. But that way. But there's tons of them out there, like Beds in a Box,
Skillshare, all kinds of
all kinds of stuff out there. I have been approached, but I don't need to get, they always start off with something very complimentary, like, I've been watching your YouTube video and I find your content is great. We'd like to partner with you. Yeah, no. It's a bot. It's sending that out.
I know. It's gotten to the point where I find it's annoying when I listen to, and a lot of times when I'm watching a video, if it goes into one of these commercial things, I turn the video off.
Yep.
Because I don't want to listen to the additional commercial. It's bad enough when I get interrupted with commercials in somebody's regular video. So
anybody who is doing that in the body of their YouTube, as a YouTube creator, they're doing it because they're trying to make what they do. They're looking at their product as a business. I don't do mine, and many other YouTube creators out there too. We're not doing it as a business. We're doing it as a hobby. It is something we enjoy doing. That's all that's about. And that creates another tone, because if someone's going to push a product on me during their video, I'm questioning their honesty. What I said about honesty. Your phone got beep?
No, it's Men Who Sew. I keep getting all these notifications from
Oh, okay. So, just to finish up here. YouTube creators. When you're doing a live, this is another pet peeve I've got. When you're doing a live, you need to read out the comments to your audience, because on the chat, people can't unless they're watching you live, they don't see the chat when it goes to replay. Also, they may not be, it goes by very fast. So you need to reiterate what somebody has said. Yes, it is repetition, but not everybody has paid attention to it, and it keeps it in the flow, keeps the content. I really hate the ones who, you see it in the replay, they're looking at their screen, the content creator, and go, oh, right, Marjorie, I agree. Oh, yeah, really? Okay. But what are they referring to? You don't know. Again, I was saying about subscribers putting their questions in context. Creators need to put live chats into context so people get the point when it goes to replay, because not everybody is seeing it when it's live. And sometimes you can see the chat down the side, but it's just easier if a content creator just reiterates what's already been said. No clickbait. All right. I'm guilty of clickbait, but not, okay, there is clickbait and then there's clickbait. First of all, when we put in a title for our video, you want to make it, it's like a newspaper thing. You want to make it interesting to, attract your audience. But clickbait in its purest form is basically, I was naked for a day at a sewing center. And then there's no discussion of that through the video. Yeah, that's clickbait.
Yeah, or they'll have like a really visual thing, like a ship being overturned with a big wave and saying, I got hit by a tsunami or something like this. And the video has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
When you get it. Or I've been watching this car guy lately, and he puts up this clickbait where it says, this and this car brand is crap. Here's why. And then you look inside the video, and all he does is talk about positive things about the car, or he doesn't talk anything about the car. It has nothing to do with the title. So
yeah, so that's again goes back to what I was saying about being honest with your audience, and I guess that's one of the major points about being a content creator. Be upfront, be honest with your audience, and treat your audience like they are your friend. If you wouldn't say something to your friend's face, then don't say it on your YouTube video, because that's going to create problems.
Yeah, like you look old.
Yeah, you look. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're ugly. Yeah, whatever. Walter's always say, get to the point quickly. Oh, and the last point, as a YouTube content creator, know your tech. Know how to use it. Now, things happen. Okay, and some of you, the regular, know, like we've been talking away on a live and you're not hearing anything because I didn't unmute the mic. Little things like that can happen. But, and especially if you're brand new to content creation, review your video.
We've watched some videos where week after week after week, the person comes on live and then they spend the next 10 to 15 minutes hunting for the button that unmutes them. And but they do that every week. It's not like they've ever figured out how to work that. So
I mean, yeah, as a first-time user, there's somebody at our door. Sorry about that, but doorbell went off and I got this big box in the door and look what it says. Spreading joy one stitch at a time. Yes, it is the Missouri Star Quilt Company's Christmas box, which I am not opening because it's not going to be opened until December. So stay tuned for future on that one. So anyways, know your tech. Now, some of you are going to say, okay, but didn't you just put up a video where you were showing the shop hop and you had a whole segment in one of the quilt stores and it was all in slow motion? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that until somebody pointed that out to me, and I went in and looked and went, oops, oopsie. Yeah, it happens. Okay, it happens. And yeah, I've made mistakes on technology, but if you're a first-time YouTube creator, these things are going to happen no matter what, over time. But if it happens every week, like Walter said, like your microphone's on mute, or really turned down and no one can hear you. And people have made comments and said, hi, I I can't hear your video.
Yeah, we had a period of time where YouTube did something, and our video was completely reversed, and we couldn't figure out how to fix that.
Yeah,
and that was something at YouTube end that we couldn't fix.
Because that's sometimes happens. YouTube changes the way things work all the time, and they don't tell the content creators that they have made this change. So yeah, it can happen. But if you're constantly, your audience can't hear you, or things are way too loud, you need to like get a handle on your tech.
A YouTube creator should actually watch the videos that they post sometimes, at least once in a while.
Yeah,
so that they can see if they've made mistakes, because we've watched videos from other content creators where they've gone into a show and interviewed people, and they've used their iPhone or whatever, and all you can hear is the background noise, and you can't hear what people are saying to the content creator, and things like that. So,
yeah, and those kind of, like the ones that we're thinking of, they go on for 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Well, you know what you're going to do. You can't hear it, you turn it off. So it's a waste of a content creator's time too as well. So you need to double check. Mistakes will happen. They will. I mean, and as subscribers have to be a little bit more forgiving.
Yeah, because we are not professional production company.
But we try. Everybody
we try our best.
So anyways, that's a whole lot of stuff there about different things, but maybe some of it you don't agree with. Maybe some of it you've experienced, whatever. But I think it's important to know, because in order to make this kind of communication two-way, you have a role as a subscriber to play. We have a role as a content creator to play. And if we all do it in a positive manner, and then it's going to work. It will work.
Yeah, for the most part, it does work.
Yeah.
But there are some glitches, so.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what we wanted to talk about this week in a long video.
Yeah, I know.
I think we went on maybe a little long. Okay, that's the other thing. Sometimes
we just go a long
time, whatever. But I know a lot of you tune into us when you're doing some sewing and stuff like that, and it passes the time. You've told me that. Whatever. Well, who cares? Okay. So I hope you got something out of this today. Whatever. I'm sure we'll know, because you'll probably write comments.
Yeah, probably your video's too long.
You're too long.
You talk too much.
You're arrogant a-holes.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay. We love Walter, though. Yay for Walter. Walter, he's our hero. He's so dreamy. Yeah, okay. Say goodbye, Walter.
Goodbye.